Hello, and welcome to RV Advisors All Things RV podcast. I am your host, Kathy Conrad. I've been enjoying the RV lifestyle for 5 years, and I love helping new RVers realize their RV dreams. This podcast is about RV education, resources, adventures, and the amazing people who love RVing. It is also about discovering the freedom RVers experience, the connection with nature we are all so grateful for, and how RVing enriches our lives. On this podcast, you can expect us to talk about all things RV, including the good stuff, the challenging stuff, and everything in between. So, join us weekly and enjoy the lineup of guests we have in store for you. If you are considering getting an RV or are just starting out and have questions or concerns, or perhaps you would just like some guidance or support in navigating this process of acquiring an RV and learning all the things, well, I'd love to help you out. My goal is to save you time, money, and help you to avoid preventable costly mistakes. For more information on my one-on-one coaching, you can visit my website at rvadvisors.net, or feel free to shoot me an email at Kathy with a C, C-A-T-H-Y, at rvadvisors.net. Hey friends, and welcome back to the podcast. And if you're new here, a special welcome to you. Thanks for joining us. And don't forget to check out some of the earlier episodes. And please follow or subscribe to this podcast on whatever platform you listen on. I sure appreciate it. So thank you for joining us, and I hope you find this episode helpful. This is all about campground etiquette and being a good neighbor. All these rules that I'm about to share with you really are just common sense, but I'm sad to say that I have seen just about every one of these ignored. And it just makes it less enjoyable for other people. And I just encourage you to really treating nature, property, and others as you're camping with respect. You know, it's just the right thing to do. So treat other people the way you would like to be treated. And then everybody has a good time. And whether you are camping at a campground, boondocking on public land, or staying at a harvest host location, or at an RV park, all these rules apply. Everyone out there is out camping to have a good time, so let's just be good neighbors. Makes it more enjoyable for everyone if everyone does that. So let's dive in. So when you make your reservation, you're agreeing to their specific rules. So always just take a moment to review them. Some places may have rules that may be a little different and specific to that particular campground or RV park. Maybe they have something unique, like a petting zoo or something like that, and there's rules around that. Just take a look at them. Make sure there's not something that maybe you haven't encountered before. So starting out, just pretty much every place, unless you're out boondocking on public land, and again, it would just be common courtesy, there's always quiet hours, and that's for a good reason. Typically, they're like 10 p.m. to 8 a.m., because, not everyone enjoys 1 a.m. drunken karaoke. Seriously, I've experienced that. Not as the singer, but as someone who's trying to get some sleep. You can still have fun, just do it quietly. Maybe don't leave a lot of bright lights on when you go to bed. If you have a low lit porch light, or maybe you have a small solar garden light that you like to leave out, that's fine. But some of these rigs have a lot of lights on them and they're bright. So maybe don't leave those on all night long. And then consider each site as private property. Don't cut through other people's campsites. Stay on the roads and the walking paths, unless you have a specific reason where you need to cut through. Just ask, hey, do you mind if I come through? And, at least be courteous. But in general, don't cut through people's sites. It's just not good etiquette. And also, please respect vehicle speed limits, period. I've seen that, people flying through the park or a campground at 20 miles an hour, or on their e-bike with their dog in tow. It's a hazard to everybody, including yourself. So again, common sense. And then also keep your campsite clean. And please remember that the fire pit is not a trash can. Dispose of your trash in the designated receptacles. And if you're boondocking, carry everything out that you carried in. You know, that concept of leave no trace. Really respect that. Dogs on leash, please. And if they're tethered in your campsite, keep it at a length where they can't dart out into the road or to the very edge where people are walking by, maybe with children or walking their own dogs. I've had dogs like dart out barking and, you know, startling my dogs, startling me. And also, in regards to your dog, if you're leaving your campsite, if you're leaving them in your RV, give them something to do. Give them a peanut butter Kong or something, toys to play with, so that, you know, if they tend to bark while you're gone, just remember that and maybe find ways to keep them quiet and occupied while you're gone. And then my big pet peeve, as a responsible dog owner, I've had anywhere from having 3 of my own plus a couple fosters and dog sitting one. You know, I walked up to 6 dogs at a time and I managed to clean up after all of them, so I don't feel like anybody has any excuse. So clean up after your dog. It's not anyone else's responsibility to clean up after your dog. And so I have to ask, do you like stepping in dog poop? No, and neither does anyone else. So pick it up. If your kids are walking the dog, make sure they are carrying poop bags and clean up as well. If they're not responsible enough to pick up poop, they should not be walking the dog. You know, it's nasty and nobody likes stepping in dog poop. So please, please, please clean up after your dog. And of course, campfires are a camping tradition. Who does not love sitting by the campfire at night, visiting, having a glass of wine? Please follow the rules and safety guidelines for each location, you know, as they may vary. States in the West that wildfires super common because it's so dry. A lot of campgrounds ban wood fires during the fire season, but sometimes they'll still allow propane fire pits. So those are handy to have. We have one. It's still nice. You don't get that campfire smell, but you also don't get the smoke either. So you can still enjoy that activity of sitting around a fire in a safer way with a propane fire pit if they allow those instead of a wood fire pit. But either way, never leave the fires unattended. It's so easy with the propane, you know, just flip it off and you're done. If you have a wood fire, make sure that it is completely extinguished, pour water on it before turning in for the night or leaving your site. You just don't want to leave any little embers hot because, you know, a gust of wind can blow it into the dry grass somewhere. And most places do require that you purchase local firewood. They usually, the camp host has firewood for sale if they are allowed, and this helps prevent non-native invasive bugs, you know, from being introduced into the area from a different area. So that's why they want you to purchase local, and that way that the local trees are not at risk for a new species of invasive bug, you know, causing damage. So, and then keep your campsite clean. Keep the trash contained in a receptacle. You know, that can attract wildlife in the nighttime, and you might be waking up to a big mess to clean up. Don't leave any trash out. And if you're boondocking, again, leave no trace. Anywhere you go, leave no trace. You know, it always is frustrating to see trash in the fire pit, and that's not the place for it. If you're out boondocking, leave your neighbor plenty of space. It'll be more comfortable for everyone, you know, and you'll have some room to spread out. But I hear these stories. I haven't actually experienced this one, but they'll be out, you know, on public land camping, and somebody will come in and park right next to them, and there's all this space. You know, leave plenty of space. It's just common courtesy, and it's better for everybody. And then if your neighbor comes in, you know, after you're already settled, let them set up and get all settled before introducing yourself. You know, it's okay to give them a friendly wave, hello, but try not to interrupt their process. Because if you don't RV and you don't realize, you know, that there's a whole routine that you go through, and it's like you have this set order of doing things so that you don't forget anything. And so sometimes when somebody stops you and they start talking to you, it's easy to get off track and forget something. So let them get all set up, unless they ask you for help, and then once they're settled, that's a better time to introduce yourself and strike up a conversation. RV people, I have found in the years that I've been RVing, they really are friendly people. And they enjoy talking to other RVers. We have, all these common things around travel and nature. It's easy to strike up conversations. So we just want to wait until it's the best time and people aren't busy setting up. So keep that in mind. And finally, on your way out, if you're going to be using the dump station, make sure you have all your things that you need to complete the task ready and accessible, so that it's not your turn. You pull up to the dump station and then you're searching for your gloves, your black tank hose, all that sort of thing. Have it all ready and accessible so that you're in and out of there quickly and don't hold up the line. That will cut down on the wait times for everyone else. So, and if you accidentally make a mess, I've seen that happen, clean it up. It's awful when that happens, but don't leave it for the next person to have to walk around it, and just be very mindful about emptying your tanks and making sure that you do everything in an order that does not leave a mess. So anyways, that's kind of the gist of it. I hate to even bring this up, but I think it needs to be addressed because I see too often people doing things that are just not considerate, not thinking, and it just can ruin it for everybody. So let's just all be respectful of nature, property, and other people, and be a good neighbor. Very easy. So anyways, we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening. Thank you so much for tuning in today to RV Advisors, All Things RV Podcast. Please join us again next week for more RV education, resources, adventures, and interesting people. Until then, wishing you amazing adventures, safe travels, and I hope to see you on the road.